worry. Don't worry.
That's a good movie.
All right, I think I shared it on my page now for everybody to be able to tune in.
All right.
All right. So yeah.
Malcolm Reed have
Just Not Checkers back again, episode 6 in the mix.
Okay.
It feels good to
Mr. Rogers.
I'm bro. You know what? This is fun. I'm always excited about going on the air with you, dog. I'm proud of my brother.
It's all good. It's all good. Nope. Did you ever watch Mr. Rogers growing up as a black kid in Baton Rouge?
Nah, it was kind of old. Like by the time, my brothers Fred and Marlon watched it though. They used to talk about it all the time. Like it was kind of old school, man. I wasn't messing with that. I watched Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, I didn't really.
You got Mr. Rogers. Are you sure? You know who I knew about Mr. Rogers from Ice Cube songs. To be 100.
Okay.
Reading Rainbow was my thing with LeVar Burton, who played Kunta Kinte.
Yeah. Is there a delay right now or something?
Are
you good?
You see me? Am I moving?
Yeah. Right, I'm just making sure you're hearing me. Like you saw the Mr. Rogers shirt a little late, I think.
I did. Oh, okay. Oh no, that's because I was looking at the Facebook version of it instead of the Zoom. So.
Oh, God. Okay.
I was trying to get set up right. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Right.
Yeah, he was, but you knew about Mr. Rogers. He was definitely not a racist, right?
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't like I didn't know about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So we gonna get into it, y'all. We ain't gonna hang out too long. I am in the middle of football boot camp at St. Amant High School right now. So we going from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. Varsity, freshmen, meetings, walkthroughs. The weather has been terrible, so we haven't been able to get outside. So we're in the classroom watching tons of film. So that's really productive. And but we got our mask on. We following all the guidelines and doing things the right way. That's one thing I can definitely say about St. Amant. The protocols are followed strictly. So I feel comfortable, doing what we do. And so that's I kind of been the last 2 days been locked down all day, and I got to get up early in the morning to get back to it. So,
well, I'm gonna save the song for the end. By the way.
All right, cool. All right. We can do that then. We can do song and question segment for the end tonight.
Yeah, we've been. I've been keeping you updated what's going on here, because we're only separated about 3 hours, but yet what y'all are doing in Baton Rouge is night and day what we're doing in and around Mississippi, Jackson in particular. And you were down here last week. Went to Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah, a week ago. Yeah.
Have you looked at things differently since you've been? Do you look at things different? Do you think about things different now that you've been there and seen that? Just life in itself.
Man, I'll never be the same from going to that museum. Like that was an experience that really kind of opened my eyes to, things that we talked about already. That I just view it from a different lens now. Just kind of seeing, all of the history. Like Mississippi was like a very, very important place. You know what I'm saying? To establish civil rights there. Like it was probably, Mississippi seemed like it was a rogue state that the federal government and local law enforcement were definitely not on the same page, but the federal government kind of like was hands off and let Mississippi run Mississippi. And nothing is wrong with that unless, when you look at the violence that took place against innocent Black people or Black people who was just trying to, exercise their rights as United States citizens. You hear about it, you hear Mississippi's reputation as far as, racism goes in history. That, like when, going back to when we encountered the Klan ourselves, as students at Valley. So, viewing it, seeing that museum really just helped me like understand the gravity of how bad it was. You know what I'm saying? And all of the things that so many people, white and black, fought for to get that done. Because I don't think without the allies that joined the fight for civil rights and saw what was wrong with it, the rights don't happen as early. But you think about I went down a wormhole with research basically after I left the museum of just studying more about Emmett Till, studying more about the NAACP workers, Schwerner, Cheney, and the other guy's name escapes me, but those stories that you hear about all the time, that those, what happened, and Medgar Evers, of course, as well. Like hearing about it is one thing, but then seeing all of the things that was going on and the details about it really changes your view. And then the other thing is we was exchanging videos about different stories of lynching. We recognizing names that we saw on that wall and on that list of names of people who were lynched.
Yeah.
But to do our own research and seeing the people who we actually saw on there, and that gives a different kind of humanity to that person, and it just affects, it affected us both in a way that like we wish we could have done something about it, and we want to do more about it. But I'm definitely a promoter of that museum for sure, and I appreciate them for whoever put that together, and that being a space that people can go and learn. Everybody.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is educating not just yourself, because there's a lot of adults that need that education, but educating our kids, and not just black kids, but white kids. Not educating to say, you're bad in this moment or whatever, but educate and say, let's move on from it. I think
Let's
so many. Well, I think so many white families don't teach their kids about that time in history that is still directly impacting their lives. Mm-hmm. So without that knowledge, they're naive.
Right.
And you get into situations where young white kids are like, why does that black guy hate me? Like, I didn't do nothing to him. You know what I mean? It's always that response instead of, hey man, look, I get what happened. I've looked into it. I saw what went on, and look, there were people that were against that from the beginning. Laws weren't in place though, and that's what was, I think the best part about it is that you said they left Mississippians to kind of fend for themselves or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the majority of people knew what was happening was wrong, their own beliefs, personal beliefs, they knew it was wrong. That's why you had, white people standing up for certain black people and black people standing up for certain white people, because they knew it was wrong. But just overall, I guess. So yeah, definitely. I think it's good for just parents to educate your children about what went on, what happened, not to say that this is who you are now or anything like that, but it did happen.
Right.
And
sure.
But I also don't think that, black kids shouldn't really use that as an excuse neither, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be a present day fight about what happened, if that makes sense.
I'll say this about that.
It should just be
as a black man who has witnessed that that history or learned about it. I use it as motivation for me. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm gonna overcome. I'm gonna hold it down for Emmett Till. I'm gonna hold it down for Medgar Evers. I want them to be proud of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use what happened to them as like, well, I can't achieve, or I'm gonna be held back because that's just what's gonna happen. I want to be the one that represents Emmett Till, and when a person sees me, they can see a black man that that can smile and have a good time and just be cool and not be judged by the color of my skin, but for the color of my skin to be recognized and respected at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's sad. It's tragic what happened, and I love Mississippi and my time there, and my experiences in Mississippi. So I don't want to like put down the state. because those things was happening all over the country, even in the northern states. Because as we was learning about the Klan, Indiana had the Klan popping, Colorado had the Klan popping, Oregon had the Klan popping. Like they all over the place. So it wasn't like Mississippi was the only place that it was going on at, and people could kill black people without getting in trouble. It's just Mississippi was like, where the headlines were made because of what the brutality and the intensity that, they was like, we ain't gonna respect none of this. They just kind of was a little bit more rogue, like I said, but they weren't on their own in it.
Well, it's funny because, with what's going on right now, like Mississippi's very divided, and I don't know if, at first it was a division over wearing mask or not wearing mask, you know what I mean? And now the big issue is schools, it's COVID in schools,
Yep.
should we open, should we not open? And teachers like myself that think we should open and go get ridiculed, and pretty much people say, well, you don't care who dies, and that's an awful thing to put on someone. You know what I mean? Like, like you don't. I mean, you don't. You don't really know me. Now, those that know me won't put that judgment on me.
Right.
It's the same with race. It's I'm not can't put a judgment on someone what they really feel and believe. But it's just the schools delaying opening, and now some school districts are contemplating going to virtual learning only. Read. So that would be no in-person school whatsoever, right? And then some schools have given the option to go to school in person or do virtual learning. But if you do virtual learning, then you won't be able to do extracurricular activities.
Right.
So
I've seen that here as well in one of our parishes.
Does it really make sense though? I mean, is there any really sense to it? I mean, of course I'm going to be biased because I'm a teacher and a coach, and I'm going to say, yeah, we need to play sports, and yeah, we need to go to school. Of course, but I'm also a father and a parent. So, and an uncle, and, my sister's a teacher as well. And,
right.
I just feel like, look, man, I teach at a public school. Private schools, they're all in. They're like, yeah, some private schools have already started playing women's soccer. Like, their season is kicking off right now.
Yeah.
So again, private schools can stay open, but public schools can't. And, what's the difference between opening up a school and leaving a Walmart open? If we're so concerned about this virus, then why risk anything being open? Why not just shut down for 2 weeks, everything? Like, you can't literally call something a quarantine and a shutdown unless everything's shut down. Gas stations, grocery stores, turn off the stoplights. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's like
it's different. It's different when like a hurricane hits. You know what I'm saying? And like things are really shut down because they can't be open. Like, or when any kind of natural disaster or catastrophe that takes place, shuts things down to where people can't move around and really get what they need for the most part. But that's usually like only going to be in one certain area. So stores like Walmart and all the grocery stores and all of the other essential businesses or whatever, they got to stay open for people to get food or whatever they need, right? So let's just decide on if education is essential or not. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make that known. Is education essential? I believe it to be. Are extracurricular activities essential? I believe them to be as well, because of my personal experience and what they've done for me, and my personal observations of what I've seen they've done for my friends, my parents, my students, it's pretty much everybody. To become a well-rounded individual, you have to do school as well as other things outside of the classroom alone to expose yourself and to enrich your experience as a person, to make sure that you can, be prepared for other things. So I just look at it from the essential standpoint. If we trying to determine what's essential and what's not, then education makes my list at the very least. But having said that, safety is is an essential thing too. So giving people the option to choose, I think, is a fair idea. Like, you can choose to go virtual. You can choose.
I'm with that. I'm with that too.
Be in the classroom, and teachers can choose to teach virtual only or be in the classroom. But if people are enrolled in school as students with the option to go virtual or be, in the building, then they should have the option to choose if they want to participate in sports or not. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we, adhering to the guidelines of what the sports are asking, what we're asked to do as coaches or as leaders in the athletic field, specifically, then as long as we adhering to the guidelines, then we should be fine to carry on our business as usual. You know what I'm saying?
No, I told you, man, look, I'll do whatever I have to do to coach, to teach, to get these kids in school every day. There's just so many problems. And my opinion is that this virus is not as deadly as it is made out to be. And, when are people going to stop being so shocked that someone tests positive? You know what I mean? When does it become a normal part of our society to where everything doesn't shut down and everything doesn't stop? You know what I mean? That's what kind of bothers me, because there's no right plan. There's no 100%, going to save everyone, be safe. That's not going to happen. I mean, we're talking about the school I work at. There's thousands of people that come in that building every day for school. We'll just say 1,000. Okay.
And ours is at about 2,500 roughly.
These are the same 1,000 kids and 1,000 teachers, kids every day. So even if we do our job and sanitize and wear a mask and social distance and do everything that keeps us and our kids safe, 100%. If a kid tests positive, he could have got it from Walmart or Taco Bell or the grocery store or the gas station. There's no way to know. So now that this one kid tests positive, we have to shut down the entire school. Everyone has to get tested. There's nothing that, there's no plan of action really to cover every scenario.
None.
And there can't be. So why are we, last week too. So why are we doing things halfway if really there's no guarantee anyway? It's like we're robbing people of their right to work and run a business and kids to go to school. I mean, our governor, they talked about how they're spending a lot of money on, like, millions of dollars on disinfectant and stuff, sending out to all the schools, and that they're trying to provide internet access to a lot of these rural areas. Mm-hmm. And that, overall it'll be a step forward for Mississippi, which is true, but who's monitoring these kids on these Zoom calls, and who's getting these kids? And do they even have laptops? Half the kids don't.
Right.
Certain school districts around here are trying to go virtual. I know for a fact a majority of those kids don't have laptops or access to Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. So, there's these plans in place that don't seem to be benefiting the kids. It seems like you're expecting these kids now all of a sudden to, learn online. Really? Come on, parents. How many parents did that really work? How well did that really work for y'all the last 9 weeks?
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
How much did your child actually learn? How much did they actually learn doing online virtual learning?
Look, so for me personally, my oldest son, Malcolm, is gonna be going to his pre-K4 class at a primary school, here in Santa Mar. Starting next month, in like a month's time, So I was at home with him, and I'm a high school teacher. Carissa is certified in elementary education, right? So, I'm like looking at her like, what I'm supposed to do to teach these? I don't know how to teach no little kids, you know what I'm saying? I teach high school, like I'm a secondary education. So I can only imagine what even me being an educator, I did have to study educative strategies and techniques and things like that. So I have some knowledge that I can use and just teach them stuff that's different than what they probably would be learning in their own, daycare curriculum, but something, I can engage a student, even at that young age. But for the untrained teacher to teach to be there, a parent that's just there with their kid trying to get them to learn virtually. First of all, any kid, at a young age, not going to be able to do that alone.
Man, we're asking like kids we're putting all these things on their shoulders, like so much. We're like, let them fend for themselves. Right. I get what you're saying. It's so difficult. And at the same time, what if mom and dad has to work while during the day? The parents
most
that
of them do. Then like it's 80, at least 80% of the parents.
What about the kids that have to work, or they have to be big brother and sister, and now they have to do schoolwork with their little brother and sister and their own and do a job? It's like, then you can get into, well, if they stay at home and have to be there for their kids, now are they getting unemployment checks? And does that mean businesses are shut down because they don't have people that can work there? I'm just saying there's a whole list of problems when you say that our school district is going to be strictly virtual learning. You're taking away, in my opinion, the purpose of a public school, which is to serve the community.
Right.
And people should have the freedom and option to go to school if that's their only means necessary. Those ones that are wanting to do virtual learning, that are, parents are you're basically, okay, we're leaving your child's education up to you then.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you because you're the one that has to teach.
Yeah, and that's fine if someone chooses to do so.
But you shouldn't have the right. You shouldn't be taking that right away from another parent who doesn't have that option.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, everybody should have the freedom to choose what they want to, what they feel is best for themselves and their family and their child, most importantly, because that's whose life is impacted the most. And let's talk about, how yesterday the bulletin came out in Jackson Public Schools. Everybody's going crazy because, they supposedly had canceled the football season. From what I read and what the reports that I got from people who I saw on Twitter or whatever, they was like, a couple of people were called by the Mississippi High School Athletic Association and told, like, head coaches were told that the season was canceled. Mm-hmm. So they go off, you know what I'm saying? And this is, you right there at ground zero, but this is me getting it from Baton Rouge, but I'm paying close attention because obviously, I got my Mississippi ties. So next thing I know, all the coaches are like, man, what's going on? These kids about to be transferring. I'm seeing reporters on Twitter like, oh yeah, I just talked to the number one prospect in the state. He said he looking at going to Jackson.
Right? What? This happened in like 10 minutes.
Yes,
10 minutes.
The kid from Provine. I don't know what his name is or what position he plays, but he was like, I'm ready to go. He's the number one recruit in the state of Mississippi, and he was ready to transfer immediately. Not 5 hours after. I mean, I'm being generous saying 5. Mm-hmm.
It was maybe 2 hours after.
Yeah, the bulletin comes right back out from the I guess the commissioner of the MHSAA saying that was
false. Or just Jackson Public Schools saying hey, whoa, we haven't voted yet.
Jackson Public Schools, yeah.
Same thing happened in the SWAC. SWAC was like, whoa, we ain't canceled nothing. We got to vote tomorrow, and it was like, yeah, we're canceling.
So the SWAC postponed theirs until the spring. You know what I'm saying? Bayou Classic is scheduled for April because they can't play. They wouldn't have been able to play the Classic anyway because New Orleans has canceled all things until 2021 anyway. So
okay, but get
Orleans Parish's public school district if they gonna be able to play football because the Saints ain't gonna be the Pelicans not playing in New Orleans. The Saints probably not gonna play in New Orleans, but based off what the mayor has said. So how is the football for high schools gonna work? How is it gonna trickle down to middle schools? How are all those little leagues gonna be affected?
And that's the thing, is it like club soccer, they send out the new guidelines and you sign a waiver
Mm-hmm.
and you go about your business. And because when it all boils down to it, it's liability litigation, is the main thing that people are worried about. But I'll sign a waiver, for me and my kids to go back to school if that's what it takes. But getting back to the transfers, Malcolm, Jackson Public Schools is services, they have, I think, 7 high schools,
Mm-hmm.
all of, I think maybe one 6A, the other is 5As and one 4A possibly. That's a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
Thousands, maybe.
In the big city in the state.
Right. So, yes, you would have kids transfer to private schools immediately. The best athletes, these private schools will say, hey, we'll give you a scholarship, come play for us.
Exactly.
And
well, they probably could get waivers anyway for the hardship.
Well, I mean, what does this also do for families that can afford to say, hey, we're going to get an apartment in the neighboring city, Pearl, Clinton, Brandon, Ridgeland, Madison, so our kid can go to public school here? Or does the state do they just do away with boundaries and allow kids to just go wherever? Because
that's the hardship thing.
You should have the freedom to send your child to a public school and get fed twice a day, if so be it, and get some form of knowledge. Because you and I both know that for a large majority of kids at every school, no parent helps or even looks at anything in that child's book bag. I mean, it's a small percentage, but a lot of parents are like, leave school at school, basically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether they don't have the time to do it or the knowledge to do it. But I mean, you might see kids transferring if they do cancel it. I don't think that's right. It just doesn't feel right.
Let me ask you this: if this was you in your senior year of football or soccer or baseball or any athletic, any sport that you was participating in, and your school said that they wasn't going to be playing football, and the association, that the athletic association, said that any school that cancels football at your school, you can transfer without and be immediately eligible, would you have stayed?
No, I mean, I would transfer too.
In a heartbeat, no questions asked.
And I know we're a small percentage because only 3% of high school athletes go play college,
right,
sports, or I think that's just football related. 3% of
pretty much, no more than 10 for any sport, really.
But that small percentage, then it gets into what's more important, sports or safety. It just gets into that whole safety versus education. Like, what's a bigger priority right now? Safety our biggest priority?
Safety always education? The biggest priority, man. Safety right. Is always the biggest priority.
Well, that's what
emergency plans and everything in place for your sport to run smoothly.
I get that. I'm for that too, Reed. But if safety is our biggest priority, then what are we even talking about, man? If safety is our biggest priority, all right, they'll be like, all right, guys, for 2 weeks, since this thing has a 14-day cycle, even though I saw today the governor's release their talk, I guess the doctor that speaks with them said that it could even though you can't pass it on, you could still have it in your system and test positive for it. So they don't even so anyway, get back to what I was saying. It's just, I mean, if this thing is so bad and y'all are worried, let's shut everything down for 2 weeks and then we'll all be good. Right.
Right. And it might sound like we contradicting ourselves by saying safety is the most important thing, but that's the truth. And then saying that also we feel like, there is a safe way to proceed with education and with athletics and everything else that comes with that. But, if people are saying, but just like you said, if we really don't know and we really are fearful, we need to be shutting down more things.
But they're not, though. That's what I'm saying.
Open. It goes back to what's essential and what's not. Safety is essential. More than anything else, I want to live, I want to survive, I want to preserve my life.
So Walmart is more important than school. Is that what we're saying as a nation?
I'm
Hey guys, listen.
yeah.
There's guys in that room like, hey man, we can't shut down Walmart, dog. We'll lose millions and billions. We can't do it. But the schools we can shut down. We'll just cut their funding and
Now, what if they shut down all of the Walmarts, but just left open the local businesses, the local grocery stores and local hardware stores and local, clothing and everything else that you can go to Walmart to get?
in
Wouldn't
grocery stores.
that be a good idea of how you could boost your local
No,
economy?
no, because you would, as I said, in Mississippi, Walmart has 85 units that services 23,000 employees. So that means those 23,000 employees would just be without a job. You know
Okay,
what I
never
mean?
mind, man.
So
That's a lot.
again,
Boy,
yeah, 23,000 people work at 85 units in Walmart.
I can only imagine what that
That's
is.
like Walmart, Sam's, the super centers. But even still, that's what I'm trying to get at, Reed. That's what I'm trying to make a point is that everybody's doing their own thing, but some people's literal freedoms are being taken away. Like some people are being said, you can't run your business like you want to run your business to make money and put food on the table.
Yeah, they didn't shut down.
And some people are saying
the bars, bro. So look,
and
our governor, had a press conference today at 4. I guess it was his bi-weekly press conference. So we kind of was like waiting on pins and needles for it at school today. Like, what is he gonna say? Is he gonna shut down school? Is he gonna postpone it? Is he gonna say anything about sports? And he did mention
they
it.
didn't say nothing.
He really just said like, hey, look, this is what's going on. These people was opening these bars and getting drunk, and they like named them out loud. And one of them is actually in Gonzalez. I ain't gonna put the
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
on our thing. But the governor already said it, so it's public knowledge if you want to know, like which bars in Louisiana all over the state was open and got shut down because of a violation. So think about it like that. If you're going, if people really want this school thing to go and they want sports back, but they going to the bars and breaking the laws and breaking the rules, then we can't have it both ways. So let me share some of the statistics from Louisiana, and it's COVID. Well, what I got from today's meeting and kind of just some research I did. First of all, we are leading the nation in cases. We have had 111,038 cases, 3,700 deaths, 61,000 recoveries. We currently have 1,583 people in the hospital and 214 of those on ventilators. We have had 1,276,304 commercial tests. Doctors are complaining that beds are being unused because they have shortage of staff. So there aren't enough doctors to take care of all the people. That's what the doctors are saying. We supposed to stay in phase 2 until August 7th, right? We are averaging 2,000 new cases per day at this moment. All right. So another thing that our governor had before I stop talking. Our governor had there's a rental assistance program, right? For people who need assistance with housing. They had to shut that down because 40,000 people applied for the program. It was $24 million allocated to it, and 7,500 people. They could only provide the assistance to 7,500 people out of the 40,000 that applied for it, right? So those are some of the things that's going on with COVID in Louisiana. So first of all, we leading the nation in cases.
You talking about per capita?
Per capita, not the most number, not the biggest number, but per capita, we leading the nation. And
Mississippi's up there too per capita.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's Reed. That's what I'm getting at, man. 1,000 of your cases could have come to Mississippi and got them, or could have got them in Atlanta. I'm just saying, there's no way to track where you got this thing from.
No.
There's no way to know it. It's everywhere. It's within our community. It's within our society. Let's put funding towards it. And I just feel like that if we take the precautions, especially school related, then it would be okay. And I even Reed, let's just pretend you're a teacher who is against going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
because your fear for your safety or your grandmother's safety who you live with who has pre-existing health conditions, right?
Right.
I
Moms.
do like that they should give teachers the option to do virtual learning. Like, hey, this teacher's only going to be teaching a online virtual class,
Yeah.
right?
So go ahead.
Right. But, how about also let's provide money. Let's put our money first of some security. All right. The state says, all right, teachers, listen, you get COVID, you test positive. First off, we'll pay for any tests that you need to take. We will cover all medical expenses. We will cover any lost wages. We got you. Don't worry about that.
Right.
Guess what? Students, we'll do the same for you too. You test positive, guess we got your medical bills. And this is hard coming from a public school. It might be easier to do this at a private school, but have funding set aside for it. You know what I mean? So there's access, whatever. But because unlike these professional and college teams, we're not testing our athletes and students every day.
No.
Or every other day, or every 3 days, or once a week.
You can only scan their temperatures when they get on campus.
Right. But so I don't know, maybe that's something that could help, because there's just no right answer on it. Just seems like everything that we're doing halfway anyway. It's like if we're gonna open, let's just open everything up. Let's let our economy around here, small businesses flourish and people live their lives, but with still, hey man, we'll still wear our mask in places.
Right.
We'll still do, apply to certain regulations, but overall, I mean, it just seems like there's no right or wrong way. There's no fully 100% plan to stop it. You would have to literally shut down everything for what they say was 14 days.
That's not gonna happen. But see, this is what
it's not. That's what I'm saying. So what are we doing? Why are we going at it halfway?
What I was getting out of what you're saying about teachers having an option. So if there are teachers who choose to say, look, I don't feel safe, I don't feel comfortable, I have pre-existing conditions, I take care of, I'm the primary caregiver for a family member who has pre-existing conditions or susceptibility to die from this virus, they should have the option, or should be given the option, to teach virtually only, and then you just put all of the students that want to do virtual with those teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be enough to where that balances itself out. I don't agree with teachers being forced to do it. It doesn't really.
Right. We can't. We're taking away people's freedoms, man. Like,
since students get options, like, I don't think the teachers who are in those situations where they could, like I said, who have those conditions, or primary caregivers for people who have pre-existing conditions. Man, I don't want my coworkers or my former coworkers or my friends who are teachers who are in that situation to have to be forced to do it. And that's across the whole nation. It shouldn't be, like, hey, the students get to choose, but look, y'all got to go back to work. Like,
yeah, we've
a year from St. John Parish resigned. I think I might have told you that she resigned from teaching because she didn't want to go back. I mean, there was other things to go with it too, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. She was like, I don't want to do it.
I mean, that's the thing, is that it's not nationwide. It's not a worldwide thing, a statewide thing. You know what I mean? It's not.
Case to case, local, individual people gotta figure that out. It must be Ava.
Right? Trying to sneak in.
Shout out to Ava.
Where's mom? No, but like, I mean, there's technology to where if I wanted to just do virtual learning, they could put me up on the smart board in the classroom, and the kids come and sit down in the classroom, and I teach class from the computer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's possible, but there's so many layers to it. What about a principal? Principals can't do their jobs from home. You know what I mean?
That's tough too. That's a good point. Like
That's what I'm saying. It just gets into so many slippery slope.
they really left with no choice. Like what if
How many older football coaches and coaches in general that are, you know, very, very susceptible to this disease, they don't have an option.
Right. Dang, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, you do have the freedom to choose, but you know, you put yourself in a situation if you're not financially stable and you're depending on, you know, this profession, you know, whether it's your livelihood, you know, it's just your livelihood, or you consider it your calling, but it's providing your, you know, financial foundation for your life. Like that's I mean, you could choose to not do it. Hopefully you got some kind of backup plan or some savings that you can live off of, or you can go get the unemployment if they're doing that. But I mean, you put yourself in a situation where it changes your whole life because you know you might be forced to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing. And I mean, God bless those people who are in those situations, man. You know, I sympathize with them, you know what I'm saying? But it's nothing that I could do, and I could only maneuver how I see fit for myself personally. But I do understand that other people might not know, who aren't in the same situation or position that I am, gotta view it differently. So, you know, people, none of us have ever been here before. You know what I'm saying? This is all new territory. And I think that's the most important thing. Like the fear and the uncertainty or the confusion that comes from, you know, us trying to figure this thing out. Because like you said, there are no right answers, and it seems like there are millions of wrong answers. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta play it by ear and be patient and just hope for the best at the end of the day. Because
And yeah,
a lot of people canceling and postponing football seasons and school. So, you know, we'll see how
yeah,
it work out for them.
it's one of those things that I just feel like we should either be all in on being safe, or you know, just stop talking about it, because like these little halfway plans are ultimately contradicting everything that, you know, the mainstream media is telling us.
Right. Look,
And
man, go ahead.
did you see I was telling you about the video circulating about the doctors and all the white coats, and they're outside and they're speaking about hydroxychloroquine, about how it works, and
the cure,
or that it's treatable, you know. Just there was a group of doctors, and look, this could be misinformation. I don't know, man. These could have been actors. I don't know. It seems legit. One lady talked about, you know, what hospital she worked at and whatnot. I haven't done research on the individuals, the names and whatnot. I think all this happened with just the last couple of days, this video being released of doctors saying that, you know, people stop freaking out. There's, you know, we're using certain drugs and it's helping our patients and curing them, things like this. But like I said, man, it's a disease, which, so that means that, you know, there's no cure to it, honestly. Like some people are going to die from it, some people aren't.
Man, look, then there's some people saying that they don't want to do anything until a vaccine is created and administered to whoever. Like, I ain't really trying to get stuck with no needle for some coronavirus, you know. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm gonna just keep it real. Like some people are, but I'm not. You know, my kids have gotten their immunization shots, and I got mine growing up, and I've been very healthy my entire life. So I'm not gonna, like, you know, go against it, but I just don't know if I feel comfortable.
The new stuff you're talking about, the new vaccines.
Yeah, like I don't know if I feel comfortable with that, because I don't feel like, you know, I do have a mild case of asthma, but other than that, man, I ain't really thinking, you know.
Well, again, we live in America, and people should be given the freedoms.
This is America.
To do things, the freedoms, but you cross a fine line when you tell someone, you know, that you can't run your business the way you want to, or, you know, you can't have more than 50% people in your restaurants. And regardless of restrictions that they put on people and mask mandates and whatever, there's still people that aren't going to follow these rules. Even if
Period.
you quarantine the entire city, like there's going to be one neighbor who goes across the street and talks to the other neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's no, so yes, we can hope.
My neighbors.
Right. So we can hope for vaccines to ease people's minds, or medicine to treat it, or we can, talk to our children and talk to them about, hey, it's really important now more than ever with coronavirus that you make sure your immune system is good and that you eat healthy and that you don't put toxins in your body, because people that are dying from this have pre-existing conditions, some which they can control, some which they can't control. So I don't want to say that I'm banning that, but a large majority, they're talking about it affects, obese people and people who have been unhealthy, certain conditions, like I said, that they can't control too. But, it's just if they say school is all virtual learning and, or for public schools, then there's going to be another division of kids and parents, and it's just, we don't know nothing yet. I mean, everything is still up in the air. Everything's been in pencil since March, and things could change in 2 weeks. They could change in 2 weeks.
Everybody's just not going to agree with it with everybody else, man. And like you were saying, Brad, I'm gonna make you laugh. Like, no matter what is mandated or whatever rules and laws are put in place, everybody not gonna follow them, dog. And some people are. I always joke when people ask me about like drug prohibition or whatever. I'm like this, dog. They could legalize crack tonight, like right now, literally. I ain't gonna smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? But it's illegal, and it's been illegal for 40 years, and people still smoke it. So, you know what I'm saying? Just like everything else, So people gonna do what they want to do regardless, dog. And that, that at the end of the day is what people gotta recognize and understand. And that don't make it always right, but it's just the truth. And I got some other information about all the different states that have canceled or postponed fall sports. So it's
okay. Give me an update on that real quick before,
right. New Jersey
out of here
has canceled their fall sports. I think they're gonna postpone to next spring. California is postponed to like wintertime. New Mexico postponed to spring. Arizona postponed like a couple weeks. Kansas postponed school and football for like 2 weeks. Nevada has delayed theirs and gonna have a shortened season of like 7 games. Tennessee is delayed. Virginia delayed until March. Washington State delayed 5 weeks, and West Virginia has postponed theirs as well. So like all of those people have all of those states have already made a decision. Everybody else is like right on time. So that's let me.
So they're waiting. Well,
they still waiting. Mississippi has postponed 2 weeks though, right?
Yeah, I know our school district has, but some haven't, man. There's municipal school districts that haven't stopped. Everybody's doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating. It really is frustrating because there's such a strong fear that everyone's biggest fear is if a kid gets it and the kid dies from it.
Oh, man.
But even still, he could have gotten it anywhere.
True.
Anywhere.
True. Who's to say that if a football player goes out and plays, tests positive for corona, that they actually got it from playing football? You know what I'm saying?
There's no way to know.
You wouldn't.
No way to know this. So we take the precautions. We give the people the freedoms to do as they please, as long as they follow certain mandates. Mm-hmm. Hey, Malcolm, you have a restaurant that services the community. You only seat maximum 50 people, but you can only have 25 people in there. So half of your business is going to be cut. I'm sorry to tell you that. But Applebee's, which seats 100 people, now they can only seat 50. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's, you're losing business. And I think you should have the freedom, Malcolm Reed, to have a full capacity restaurant if you want to.
Ooh,
What's wrong with that?
Okay, but hmm,
Reed,
I guess
the rules are so loose. Hey, wear
yeah.
your mask in the restaurant, sit
Wait,
down.
wait. So you gotta have certain guidelines to follow within your restaurant. Social distancing. You can serve to
No, no,
go.
no. Listen to what I'm saying to
You
you.
mean like full seating and everything?
What I'm
You
saying,
slow down
they're
on that.
saying like 50% capacity, right? Have you heard that a lot of places?
Yeah.
Applebee's seats 100, they can only seat 50. You seat
Oh.
50, you only sit 25.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Math ain't my strongest subject. I just
I'm
got.
just saying, like, there's no ruling that's going to.
Yeah. So they gonna get
I,
the night.
I walked into a gas station today on one side of the reservoir. There was no sign up, and nobody that was working there was wearing a mask. So I didn't even put my mask on. I just walked in. It
Mississippi
was
gone rogue
no, no,
again.
no, no, no. The gas station on the other side of the reservoir, big sign, mask, don't come in unless you have a mask type deal. You know what I
No,
mean?
I look. So the other day I was
I'm
getting
just
gas.
saying, man, it's
I went.
not,
I
you
went in
can't
there.
monitor everybody and everything.
One of these because I forgot my mask and I didn't feel like. They was like, "Nah, you got to get a mask, baby." I was like, "Oh, you right. I'm sorry.
You could probably pull your beard up.
I can actually. I
Um, I'm
it
just,
don't block coronavirus.
but Reed, okay, I'm gonna kind of finish with, I'm gonna leave you with this. Cause like, I know you and I, we give our opinion, but ultimately we're not medical experts.
Mm-mm.
We're not, I'm not, I just use the knowledge that's around me and, and,
Observations and experience.
and I talk about what I feel from like good and bad, right and wrong.
Right.
I just feel extremely horrible for the lower class society of children and families. And I think that it would negatively impact those communities in such a horrible way.
I totally agree.
If they're not given the opportunity to go to school and do band and play football and be in art class, because I've said this before, man, the only ounce of love that some kids ever feel is within those walls in that school.
Facts.
So
Show.
that's who I feel for. And I just pray that, these parents who are wanting this virtual learning, you better be all in with your kids. You better be there for them as much as you can and help them academically. Because if you don't, come January, if we're back in school, they're going to be so far behind academically that they're not even going to make it through the year. And this can affect them moving forward, whether in their career, whether they're going to be trying to graduate and get into certain schools, ACT testing, all these things that are affected from it. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that through virtual learning. And if they don't, they've already canceled state testing here in Mississippi this past year.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to cancel them again for this upcoming year, which that was how they determined funding in the first place. So what are you going to do now? How about just give everybody the same amount instead of just
point, son.
Instead of just saying, well, you're an A school, so you get more money. You're a D school, so hey man, we can't give you as much money.
Tough on you, big dog.
Tough luck.
Oh man, and that's a whole nother conversation, bro. Because
the lower,
there's so much data that shows that shit is like not even valid to of a way to judge people. But I ain't gonna get into that right now.
Well, we can reconvene with that next week and see what decisions have been made. But listen, man, I'm for schools opening, and I wish more people would speak out on it. I feel like the silent majority wants schools let me rephrase that, wants schools to open for people to have the freedom to choose whether or not they want to send their kids to school, and whether or not they want to be picked up on a bus. And if it's as easy as signing a waiver, then so be it. But also, let's back these families and teachers and let them know that, hey, listen, if you get sick, we're going to take care of you. Mm-hmm. And we're going to provide the medical bills. I mean, I'm all in either way.
I'm pro-choice, bro. I'm pro-choice.
So anyway,
let's let people have their own options of choosing what they feel is best for themselves and their family, man. And that's all they can. It's all we can really do. We can't forcing people to do one thing or the other. Is people not gonna cooperate with that? You know what I'm saying? So well, not everybody's not. So that's just how it's.
Well, a government agencies that force people to do things that aren't considered illegal, that's almost a communist way of thinking. Almost.
Remember what I said. My thoughts about communists or whatever. I don't have. I think I mentioned before on here that I am not affiliated with any political party. I'm not a member. I'm no part. I'm a member of.
I thought you were in the Black Panther Party.
I would have been probably
Okay.
if I was younger. Sorry for ruining your Black Panther Party. No, but I'm not. So I don't look at. I can't call myself a capitalist. I'm not gonna call myself a communist or any label. I just think that people who have an idea of what could work, once they get in power, always get it corrupted. So it don't work anyway for everybody. It only works for them. It serves the people who are in power and in control of the system. So I don't or not support any system. I just kind of we live in a capitalist society, so I try to make it work for myself as best as possible.
I mean, look, some president elections coming up soon. Some presidents, look, Reed, you may not want to vote for a certain president, but he may technically be better for you where you live in Louisiana in terms of, taxes or, certain kind of programs, whatever. But I may want to vote for that president, but his policies are horrible for me as a Mississippian. So it's, I think more people should maybe just focus locally. You know what I mean? Focus locally and really just kind of fight for whatever rights are surrounding you in your community, instead of worrying so much about national stuff. But all right, I'm gonna leave you with a song. You want that song real quick before you go?
Yeah. Before we shut down, I want to give a little update on the Major League Baseball situation. Shout out to my Indians. They've been doing pretty good.
My God.
Soon. But the Marlins have, they gained.
Reed, you cannot call them Indians, Reed. Don't do that.
Oh,
don't do that.
They still the Indians though.
Just say the Cleveland baseball team, man. People are gonna be offended.
No offense to anyone, but it is the Cleveland Indians, so that's what I'm gonna call them until they change the name. The Miami Marlins have been they've been shut down until Sunday because they got like 30 cases in their organization. The NBA, they still playing in a bubble, but shout out to Lou Williams who left the bubble for a family emergency and hit the strip club.
Oh my God. See what I'm saying? You can't control what people do, man. You can't do it.
This dude went to the strip club, man. He
can't do it.
And then the NFL training camps and all still on schedule, but like hella NFL players are like opting out.
I've seen that opting out, yeah.
Yeah. So
hey man, they have the freedom to do it, right?
Yeah, the choice.
They should have the freedom and the choice to do things because this is America.
This is America.
All right, you ready for that song though?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. For those of y'all that don't know, Malcolm's supposedly really good at knowing musical stuff. So we do instrumentals, so we don't, have any copyright issues. But I think Malcolm's only missed one song out of about 10 or 12 that we've done. Here we go, Reed. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Song of the day.
I can't hear it. You people had enough? All
right, that's 20 seconds in. You know who that is?
Busta Rhymes. Give me some more.
Give me some more. That's right.
The video is great.
Man, I like how the song builds up though. It's got a great build up.
Yeah, for sure. When I was a shorty, I bumped my head and I was like,
he has some funny videos, man.
Flip mode is the greatest.
Yeah, he had some good videos. All right, so I got one more for you. What?
I got one for you.
We do two songs though.
Okay, you got another one? Let's go.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
No.
You're not gonna get this. Did you catch it? Raekwon. Verbal intercourse, yep.
Verbal intercourse.
Mm-hmm. That was a tough one. That was probably the toughest one I've put on for you ever.
Yeah, I'm supposed to know that. I'm embarrassed. I ain't gonna lie. You got me. So I was supposed to, Wu-Tang was supposed to be a jazz fest this year, dog, and Corona messed that up.
Have you seen the Wu-Tang mask? Pretty nice.
No, but yes. I watched the Hulu series on the Wu-Tang show. Is really dope. Like if you ain't seen it yet, you gotta check it out.
I haven't seen it. All right, man. Well, look, I appreciate you getting on and stuff with me tonight. I'll keep you updated, man. Keep me updated.
You got to get your songs too, man.
I don't want to do this. Okay, I'll do the songs. All right.
All right, I'm gonna just do one for you. You ready?
Are we? Remember, yeah. Don't talk so we can hear it all the way through.
All right.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Oasis, Wonderwall.
2 days gonna mean a day.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, black people like that? They like Oasis?
I don't know. Black people, do y'all like Oasis? Do y'all like Wonderwall?
Let me say something.
Black people who listen,
I
like Wonderwall.
I know English black people do.
Oh, for sure.
I think Oasis, I think they're from like Manchester, maybe England.
From Liverpool.
No, it's not Liverpool, is it?
I don't know. I just made that up.
All right.
Hold up. One more for you.
Okay.
All right. Hold up. I gotta get the instrumental so we won't get copyrighted. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah. Keep me updated, man, on the thing. I'm gonna have to do the same. Got it.
All right. That is the karaoke version. We do not own the copyrights to any of this music, whether you think so or not.
That's 311 Down.
311 Down.
That's a hype song.
That was the last concert that I got to see. Right before the Corona. They came for Mardi Gras. So I might have caught Corona that night because it was wild out there.
Reed, you could have already had it, man.
Shout out to their drummer. He had on a Kobe jersey and Kobe shoes.
There you go again.
And I was right there by him. It was, R.I.P. Kobe, man. It's been 6 months.
But anyway, thanks, man. And Clay Travis, Save Jackson. I had a conversation with him earlier. If you're listening, hello, good sir. And just encourage other people to keep speaking a voice on things and looking out for the people that are around him, for real.
Shout out to the Save Jackson crew. Shout out to somebody, some guys in Baton Rouge who are kind of doing the same thing as trying to restore the community. You know, in North Baton Rouge, just the Plank Road planning project. I'm shout out to my boy Gino, who be doing this thing with that, and everybody else who participates in that. So, because these communities need some uplifting, man. It's one thing. If it's another thing that stuck with me when I was out there in Jackson is how much Jackson and Baton Rouge reflect one another when it comes to one side of town versus the other, and the closed businesses and whatever the after effects of white flight, you know, pretty much 20, 30 years later after that has taken place. So
and we'll post those videos. You got to get those videos from the trip on the YouTube page and stuff.
We documented a good bit of it, so we gonna I'm gonna get those posted up on the page,
on the Facebook page.
Follow, like Chestnut Checkers on Facebook, YouTube. We eventually got to get our Instagram stuff, but ain't nobody got time for that. I got practice in the morning all day.
All right, Young Reed.
All right, bro. Peace, man. Chestnut Checkers signing out. Thank y'all for supporting us and being here with us tonight. Holla.